I'm here to get answers for my nephew getting burnt just last week. I was in the living room helping my mom, and then I went outside. She come out screaming and yelling, saying that she needed help. So I go in and look, and he was burnt all the way around. Amanda told me that she was trying to get dressed, and she let her kid crawl around. And when she said he went into the bathroom, he tried to pull the current iron down, and it burned him. And I asked her what happened. She told me that she tried to stop him, but she didn't see it, and then she watched him do it. So I want to know if she actually did it intentionally, or was it an accident? I think my sister Amanda did it because the way it was burnt, the way it was laid. When the flat iron fell, it came down like this on his hand. And to me, when things fall, they fall straight down and not on a hand like that. So I believe she did it intentionally. There's so many different stories. There was another person that was supposed to be watching the baby, but I don't know if anybody was watching the baby. If Amanda did this on purpose, then I feel deep down inside my heart she needs to lose her kids. That would tear me apart bad to find out that she actually burnt my nephew. That would really seriously tear me apart. What she needs to do as a mother is pay more attention to her kids, not worry about doing everything else. You should have been paying more attention to your baby crawling around on the floor than worried about texting on the phone, doing your hair, doing your makeup, getting dressed. If she was paying attention to him, as she says she was, then I feel that none of this would have even happened. Me and my sister Amanda, we've been through a rough childhood, rough life. We used to be really close. Now, since she had kids, she became a different person. She don't care about nobody but herself. You know, that's not how I used to know Amanda. She used to be very responsible. She used to be on top of things. Now, she don't care about nothing. I love my niece and nephew, and it kills me. I want better for them. I don't know what else to do. You say you're a good mother, prove it. Prove that you're a good mother. Prove that you're not a monster.
Amanda, that's your brother on the tape. What's your feelings about what he has to say about you?
It hurts more than anything because he knows I would never hurt my children, Steve. I don't whip my daughter's butt. It was a freak accident. I should have done more, yes. But it just happened. And it was just this, it's just, that stuck in my head to this day. Like, that hurts me. Like, you have your child burned and you have everybody against you saying you did this. It hurts. And he knows that I'm a good mom.
Well, just even looking at the photos of your son's burns, I mean, they're horrific burns for a 10-month-old baby, right? Your brother describes it as like almost a miracle shot of landing on his arm, the way you put hair in there, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how it happened?
Yeah, he like just yanked it down and it just went on his arm. And I was a little bit away from him, so I hurried, went over there, I got it off his arm.
How long was the curling iron on his arm?
Like a few seconds.
How many seconds?
Like maybe a minute tops.
A minute?
Not even a minute, like a few seconds tops, Steve. Like,
now, a minute would be an extremely long time.
It was like a few seconds top. As soon as it happened, my instinct was, I just went straight over there.
Well, he had to be screaming,
He was screaming, I was screaming, we both were crying.
I'm looking at this picture, right, and this is your bathroom, I assume, and there's a long cord and a curling iron that a 10-month-old could easily pull down, right? You weren't concerned about the cord dangling with a hot electrical appliance?
I was gonna just keep it in the pack and play till I was done, but he just kept crying. So I asked somebody in the house, you know, keep an eye on him real quick so I can get changed and, you know, finish up. And I just heard him crawling in the bathroom and turned around and I just instantly just got him when it happened.
Have there been incidents to make your family think, maybe you're neglectful?
I've never been involved with CPS. I've never been involved with the police. I don't whip my daughter's butt. I don't discipline her at all, really. And
since your son was burned, is there police and children's services involved?
There was police and children's services involved. When we got to the hospital, there was the detectives there, and then there was social workers there, and then Child Protective Services came, and my daughter wasn't home at the time of the incident. So they said that she was with a relative. They said that she had to stay there until the case was closed. I was not allowed to have her back. I had to beg them to be able to take my son home. I was able to take my son home the following day, but I had to comply and do visits with my child. And that just hurt, you know, going to visit my daughter and her begging me to come home and she couldn't come home. And then they taught me how to clean his burns and holding him down and cleaning them. You ever hold your son down?
I gotta imagine it'd be difficult to, like, fix burns on me. You know what I mean?
You ever had to hold a 10-month-old down? Yeah. It's painful. Yeah. It hurts.
Your family thinks you might have done this on purpose.
And it kills me, Steve.
Well, but my question is, why are they making that leap to, maybe you took that curling iron and you jammed it on your son's arm?
I don't know why they made that leap, because Adam, of all people, knows I don't even discipline my daughter. He knows that I'm...
Well, she's 2.
Right, and he knows that I'm great with my children. It was a freak accident.
You know, when you talk about burning somebody, that's torture.
Only thing I could think is that I'm a single mom. I get overwhelmed, and he probably thought that I was tired of him crying. It's the only thing I could think of.
Were you tired?
Hearing him cry is tiring. You know, being a single mom, doing it on my own is tiring. But I would never be like, okay, son.
Did you intentionally burn your son?
No.
Before this happened, what was your relationship like with your brother?
We had a great relationship, Steve. We was always together. I talked to him about everything. And I didn't know he accused me until just now.
So you didn't even know that he thought that you were doing this. Well, let's meet your brother, Adam.
How can you let this happen?
How could
you
you sit there?
If you're a good mother, you would never let that burn happen.
Okay, but you was in the house too, Adam.
I was outside.
You was in the house, Adam. So why couldn't you grab him, Adam, knowing I was in the bathroom getting dressed?
You're his mother. You should have been paying more attention to my nephew than doing your hair and playing with them clothes.
You knew I was in there. You should easily grabbed him. You should easily just said, okay, my sister is in the bathroom. Okay, let me go grab him real quick for her. Why didn't you, Adam? You was in the house because I told you, I asked you, where's the phone to call 911? And for you to sit there and say I did that to my son is crazy, because you know I don't do nothing to hurt them.
All right, but for a second there, it sounded like you were blaming him for your son getting burned.
I'm not blaming him. I feel like he should have helped.
He should have helped
me a little bit.
He should have helped you do what?
Keep an eye on him for just a second so I can go in the bathroom.
Did you ask him to keep an eye on him?
I asked someone in the house, can someone please...
Did you ask him?
I did not ask him.
Well, then how was he going to do it?
He was sitting, but he was sitting right there when I asked.
Okay, you know, all the responsibility falls on you, period, right. The end.
And always will.
Doesn't sound like it.
It is my fault, and I take full responsibility for what happened to my son.
You're just blaming him for not watching him.
I'm blaming him because he could have helped.
Okay. The truth of it is, this is not the first time we did the show with curling irons. But this one, when I look at that burn, it's such a fluky thing, right? Like, either this curling iron fell in the most perfect position to land exactly the way it was intended to burn, or somebody put it exactly that way to burn. Okay.
Oh, yes.
She said, before this incident, you were very, very close. In fact, she didn't realize until she got here that you might have believed that she did this intentionally.
I believe she did it intentionally, Steve, because when I found out that my nephew was burnt, and when I asked her what happened, she told me, she goes, I watched him do it, so I went off on it. You watched my nephew burn himself?
That's a lie. You're lying because I didn't tell you that.
You did tell me
lying because I never said that I watched him burn.
You said you watched him burn himself, and then you turned around and said you didn't see it, but you tried to stop him.
I never told you that. I never told you that.
You lied.
I never told you that.
You lied.
I said he grabbed the, before he grabbed the car, I said stop, and he just, it's too late.
Before this incident happened, you ever see your sister, like, lose her temper, be very short in patience with your nephew?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. And I come out and I see those burns, and I'm like, geez, nobody could possibly do that to their child. But unfortunately for me, I've seen it way too many times in my life, the horrific acts that a parent will do to their child, right? If you do fail this...
I'm not, so...
Well, but if you do...
Well, if I don't...
Well, if you don't, good for you, right?
Yeah.
Real good.
Right.
But if you fail, I gotta imagine there's some serious legal issues that are gonna have to be resolved when she gets home.
Oh, yeah.
Amanda, we asked you, were you in the bathroom at the time your son was burned? You answered yes. Were you using your phone at the time your son was burned? You answered no. Did you intentionally burn your son? Did you intentionally burn your son? You answered no. The results came back all the same, and they came back that Amanda told the truth.
Give me a hug.
Get off me.
Give me a hug.
Get off me.
No.
Get off
Give me a
me.
hug. I'm sorry. I thought you burned left the whole fire. That was a strange burn on my nephew's hand. Please.
Oh, you didn't do it.
And I apologize.
Told you I didn't do it.
And I apologize. I'm sorry.
Why? I'm curious. You're very upset right now. Why are you so upset?
Because it hurts that everybody thinks I did this to my child, and I didn't.
Like everybody in this room, I could point to every single one, and we'd all turn back time to a certain incident in our life, and we would change that incident, right? But you can't.
You can just make it better. You can prevent it from happening again.
Young women raising kids at a young age, you can become overwhelmed. But right now, I got to imagine she's going to have some permanent scars from this incident, right? And that's because of carelessness and a lack of attention to your child. You need to be more aware, more cognizant of what your kids could get into, because something a lot worse, and this was bad, something a lot worse can happen to your child. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I called you, Steve, for help because I watch your show all the time.
Somebody's gonna watch this and say, you know what, she was brave enough to do that, I can do that too.